Welcome to the Caddo Convos, the podcast that explores the vibrant community of businesses thriving in Caddo Office Reimagined. We're here to shine a light on the incredible entrepreneurs and professionals who make the most of our private offices, co-working spaces, and day office rentals in the Dallas-Fort Worth suburbs. Join us as we share their stories, celebrate their successes, and dive into the benefits of working in a space that's close to home but offers so much more than working from home. Let's get started with today's conversation. I'm joined today on the Caddo Convos podcast by Sharon Siar of Talon Freight Services. How are you today, Sharon?
I'm great.
So glad you're here. Let's talk about the services you offer that benefit your customers.
Okay, so Talon Freight Services is a freight brokerage. We offer services delivering freight from point A to point B based on our different customers. We have different types of equipment that we negotiate with trucking companies to move the freight.
Is it like equipment,
No,
broker,
we don't provide equipment. We negotiate with outside people. So
Okay.
we're like their traffic department, unpaid traffic department.
Gotcha. Okay. You're just making sure that they have the stuff and they're getting it from point A to B.
Right. That way they don't have to work with the carriers.
Gotcha.
We do that for them.
Excellent. And so who is your typical customer? Who do you help the most?
Well, it just depends. We have large customers, medium and small. Anybody that wants great service, they want to make sure that when they give us a shipment, that we pick it up on time, we deliver it on time, and we don't have any damages along the way. The other main thing that we offer is communication. So we want to make sure if there are any problems, a truck breaks down, or there's an issue at the shipper or the receiver, that we notify them before they have to call us. And that's what they like. They like communication and they like service. Now, we do have some customers that like price.
Yes.
But
we're all price motivated to some
very
degree.
price motivated.
Yeah.
But you can't get service and price most of the time.
Right, it's just
so
sliding
you have
scale.
to decide. So we're not the cheapest.
Right.
But we are the best service.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's the whole good, faster, cheap though. You're on the we're good, but not cheap.
Not cheap.
Yeah,
And
and
if
good
you-
communicators.
Yes. So if you want the product to get there, if you want the truck to pick up on time, then we're your guy.
Tell me about the history of the business.
So we started this business years ago. We've been in, like I said, we've been in the industry for over 30 years. I started in 1986, which was different because not many women in the industry back then. I worked for another company for about 15 years. I left there. We opened up our own company, Talon Freight Services. And back in 2008, when the economy just crashed, when they had the real estate problems, we decided to go ahead and sell. But we didn't get rid of our authority. We've kept it all this time. So my son actually owns Talon.
Okay, terrific.
Larry Mullen. And he said he wanted to start it up again. So we just brushed off the dust and used the same authority, got our bond again. And so December of 2021, we started it up again. So having an authority with a higher number, we didn't look like we were brand new. The hardest problem was getting factoring companies to work with us because we didn't have any credit.
Yeah.
So that
It's always a
helped us.
challenge.
So it took us about 6 months. So you have to have a lot of capital because you have to pay the trucks fast. And your customers pay
When they do. Yeah.
And so you have to pay your trucks before they do. So we've worked very hard to make sure our credit is good. We've kept that reputation where carriers want to work with us. A lot of time, carriers will negotiate with us and work with us because they know we pay fast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the systems that we use now and the subscriptions and the that we use, they post on there our days to pay, and we try to pay within 20 to 25 days.
That's terrific. From what I understand, the way you describe it, industries and areas. Are you Texas and beyond? What's your map?
The 48 U.S. contiguous states.
Yeah.
And so right now we've just hired a new agent that's down in Laredo. He just signed on with us, but he handles Mexico.
Oh, how about that?
So we're
international now.
We're international now,
Yeah,
but we do go.
congratulations.
But we
Yeah.
do go into Canada
Yeah.
sometimes too. Now we don't go outside of the North America.
Is there a certain type of freight you specialize in, or something you won't do or handle?
We don't handle. Yeah, there's some because it's ugly freight, but we do overdimensional. We do regular freight, like we do plastic bags. We do a lot of building supplies, shingles, lumber. Then we have electrical supplies. So it's amazing in our industry that once you start moving a certain type of freight, it becomes your niche.
Yeah.
And so our salespeople, that seems to be, they start getting recommendations and that they just build on that. And then you have another side where it's show freight or conventions and things like that. And I know when I was back in sales, I moved a lot of slot machines. For some reason, I got into when they were building casinos everywhere. Mm-hmm. I was picking up slot machines, bringing them to Dallas. They'd recondition them, and then we take them back. So you just kind of fall into certain areas. Yeah. But we pull just about everything. At one time, I pulled animals for the International Wildlife Park.
No kidding. Yeah, how
and
about
that was interesting when you call a carrier and you say, I have this rhinoceros. And they'd
just happen to have this rhinoceros.
And they'd hang up on you.
Like, one of those kids are calling again with the rhinoceros. Interesting. Mm-hmm. You mentioned ugly freight.
Yeah.
What fits in the area of ugly freight?
So pretty freight is on pallets. Shrink wrapped. It's really nice. They can
easy to move.
Yeah. They could just stack in there.
Load and unload is a piece of cake.
Ugly freight, or it's possibly long poles where it's harder to get on and off the truck. But we'll take it all. Gotcha. Like this week we pulled a Caddo.
Like there is no ugly baby for you. It's all beautiful.
Sometimes it's a challenge. Yeah. Because this one piece we moved this week was 68,000 pounds, but we just moved it within Dallas.
Gotcha.
But I like that kind of freight. I've always liked the stuff that nobody else wants.
Sounds like you're always up for a challenge.
Yeah, because you can charge more.
There you go. That's all right. That's the
yeah.
That's interesting. So what would you say makes you stand out above the rest? I mean, above the ugly freight and handling challenges?
I think we stand out because of our integrity. One of my rules over the years is we don't lie.
Oh, good.
I don't care how ugly the situation is and how ridiculous it sounds. You have to tell the truth. And sometimes it's uneasy, and sometimes it's uncomfortable, and sometimes they don't believe you. But it's the truth, and you don't have to remember what you said.
Right.
And so when they realize that we're doing the best we can, and we're going to fix it the best we can, and it may take us a little bit, but we're going to make it right. And so I think they trust us. You know, sometimes they don't like it because of our price, but they know that if they don't want to get in trouble and if they want to make their customers happy, then use us. And that's one way we look at it too. It's called the 3-box method of selling. So you're not only thinking about your customer, you're thinking about your customer's customer and what they're expecting. So if you do your research, you can, and it actually goes out to the 4-box where you can just keep going. Keeps going. And the better you can make everybody happy, then they're going to start referring you to their customers, and it just grows from there.
How has technology changed?
Oh, my gosh.
Let's say I know since the 80s it's changed a lot, but...
It didn't have any in the 80s.
Yeah, it's a rotary phone, right? And a log sheet.
Yeah.
So what advances in technology have you witnessed in the past 5 years that have made it better for you? Or more challenging?
Sometimes it can be challenging, but I think the social media, I can tell you during COVID, there was a big problem in transportation. You couldn't make sales calls because people, because nobody would see you because people weren't at work. Because everybody was working from home. Nobody wanted to take a chance. Everybody was wearing masks. And so they didn't allow you. I went to the office every day, but I had to have a piece of paper in the car saying that I was an essential worker.
How about that?
And so because you have to move, the freighter people don't have groceries.
Right.
So
that makes sense. Yeah.
So how that changed, we came up with an idea that, okay, we can't go see people. How are you going to make sales calls? Because with the downside of technology is they don't have to answer the phone.
Yes, that's true.
Caller ID.
I ignore mine all the time.
Yeah. So one of my sales reps I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So we did a video of her. We started doing videos, and she would send the emails with a video. And she got a lot of calls.
Yeah.
And fortunately, she had a journalism degree, and she was Hispanic. She worked for Univision. She was a broadcaster for them when she first got out of college.
So she was ready for
She
video.
was ready.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew how to do it. And so we were very fortunate. But we were still able to continue to do business and not have to shut down during that time. So having the technology and the people that understand technology, I always hire people that understand that.
That's terrific.
Because I'm the old school type that doesn't understand. So, but we have...
But clearly you do. You say that, you give yourself some credit, though. Clearly you do. Yeah.
But yeah, you learn. Yeah. You have to learn. And I'm a little slower, but yeah, you do learn. And then it's amazing where we have, like on LinkedIn, you have all the business people on LinkedIn, and I've got followers. We talk to people. You get business off of there. You sell off of there.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to look at a phone book anymore. You can actually have technology to find a customer base or be able to get your leads that way. So that's an improvement. The downside is people can ignore you.
Absolutely, they can.
And I think
they could before. We just didn't know it.
Right.
I mean, they just didn't go through.
Exactly.
We never heard from them. But now they can absolutely ignore you. You can see that they're ignoring you. Yeah. They're not responding to my message.
But they can also find you. I mean, you can't hide.
Yeah.
So
interesting. You have an office here.
We do.
So we're in the Caddo Maple Shade location here in Plano, and that's where the podcast studio is located. You're my neighbor. You're a couple doors down.
Yeah.
Why did you choose Caddo?
We looked at a lot of different places. We were working from home.
Yeah.
We had a home office, and then we decided to hire more people, but that you couldn't put any more people in this little home office.
Yeah, they're in the laundry room now.
Yeah, so we started looking. We looked at places like Regis and all of these other, but they were so expensive. They had a lot of amenities. But
sure, they should for the price. Yeah,
for the price. But you're working all day. You don't really have time to play ping pong and
great billiards table. I got no time.
I looked at one place. It was great. I could have walked to it from where I live, and they had the pickle court.
How about
pickleball
that?
Court there. Yeah. And I'm going, who plays pickleball during the day?
Join a gym.
Yeah. And it was like $8,500 a month for a small office.
Yeah.
So had just been driving down George Bush and saw Caddo, and I decided just to call him, and I came over here and looked, and the place it's lovely.
It is.
I mean, it's the cleanest place I've ever seen, and everybody's so friendly. It had everything we needed, and the price was right. So we started out upstairs in a smaller office. We had 3 people, because some were still working from home, and then we just started out. We couldn't get another person up there, so Caddo worked with us, and we moved downstairs, where now we have 7 people in our office here.
You have one of the larger offices in the building.
Yeah, we do. And then we just opened a new office in the Fort Worth location. So for our people that live in Tarrant County.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 people over there now. And so the nice thing about Caddo is you can grow, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. And if for some reason we need to leave, then we can.
Yeah, their policy allows for you to get out at a reasonable time. Yeah.
And so, but we like it.
That's fabulous.
I don't see us leaving this office.
That's wonderful. Any closing thoughts other than, I'm going to circle back, and everybody should know, if you look at the show notes, there's definite contact info, but what's the best way to reach you just verbally?
Just verbally, go to our website. It's talon-freight.com.
Perfect.
So if you go on there, you can find us on LinkedIn, and of course you can always find me on social media. Just Google my name and it'll show you where we are.
Terrific.
But the website is the best way.
Well, Sharon, thank you for being on the show and sharing your knowledge and what you do for your industry and being a Caddo member. I like being your neighbor.
Well, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
Thank you for joining us today on the Caddo Convos podcast. A huge shout out to our incredible network of members for making our community vibrant and supportive. If you're looking to boost your productivity and reduce the isolation of working from home, consider joining us at Caddo Office Reimagined. Our spaces are designed to meet your evolving needs, support remote work, and foster a sense of community that's hard to find at home. Whether you're a startup aiming for growth, a freelancer seeking a professional setting, or a company looking to optimize resources, Caddo offers a perfect blend of flexibility and innovation. By joining us, you'll be a part of a dynamic business ecosystem that helps you thrive. For more information, visit caddooffices.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Caddo Convos.